Hello, it's time for another story. Today I've got a story called Freckle and Clyde. And Freckle and Clyde is written by Patricia Cleveland-Peck. This is all about, I'll read the back for you. Remember what this is called? Year 2, I'm looking at you. Blurb. I'm going to read you the blurb. Are you ready? Everyone knows that cats lead their own lives. But David still wonders where their family cat, Freckle, goes to when he leaves Willow Farm, and Sarah worries when their cat, Clyde, disappears for hours or sometimes days. But when Clyde is away for longer and longer periods, Sarah decides to follow him and makes a very surprising discovery. Okay, and because most of this book takes place outside, I've got some nice garden noises today. Might not be as loud as the waves were in our last story. Okay. Freckle lived with the Percy family at Willow Farm. He slept in the sun, caught mice, and, when he felt like it, played with David Percy. Clyde lived with the Smith family at 12 Pasture Terrace. He slept by the fire. And when he felt like it, he played with Sarah Smith. In the mornings, Freckle enjoyed creamy milk from the dairy. As soon as David's dad started up the milking machines, he would appear. At night, Clyde enjoyed tinned cat food from the supermarket. As soon as Sarah's mum opened the can, he would be there. But one evening, Clyde wasn't to be found at feeding time. "Never mind," said Sarah's mum. "You know he sometimes goes off for days. He'll be back. Cats lead their own lives. You don't have to worry." And sure enough, the next night there was Clyde stretched out on the hearthrug when Sarah came home from school. So this picture was Sarah worrying that Clyde hadn't come home. And then this is Clyde when he got home. At about the same time, David was looking for Freckle. "I wish I could get him to sleep on my bed," said David. "Not him," said David's dad. "He's an outside cat. A stray. I expect he's out in the field after young rabbits. Don't you worry. He'll be back. Cats have their own lives to lead, you know." And sure enough, the next morning, there was Freckle, waiting for his milk as usual. So, David was worried about Freckle, and then Freckle came home. Sometimes Clyde curled up on the sofa with Sarah, or suddenly jumped on her in bed and purred and pounded so that the very house seemed full of cats. And other times he went missing when she wanted to cuddle him. Sometimes Freckle pounced and played in the hedgerows, or rushed up trees in a frenzy, so that the very farmyard seemed full of cats. Just heard my cat meow. That's so funny. It's probably because I've got the door closed and she likes to come in. Jess, can you let Fifi in, please? Let Fifi in. Oh, she's gone. Oh, her meow was, "Oh, you're not going to let me in. I'll go away then." Sorry. Other times, David scanned the landscape for him in vain. "He's snug in a barn somewhere," said David's dad. "Cats see themselves all right. Don't fuss, he'll be back." And he always was. Then Clyde took to being away for longer and longer periods. "He's off in the woods somewhere," said Sarah's mum. "Don't fret. Cats look after themselves. He'll be back." And he always was. "If you could talk, would you tell me where you go?" asked Sarah, looking at Clyde's sinuous sleeping form. But Clyde just flicked the end of his tail without waking up. Then Sarah had an idea. She would follow him and see where he went. She would track him and see what he really got up to. So she watched and watched, but Clyde just stayed in the garden. He snoozed in the shrubbery, or curled up in the catmint, or dozed among the delphiniums. Delphiniums are the flowers. She was about to give up when very early one morning, with sudden purpose, Clyde sprang down off the windowsill and jumped over the garden wall. He trotted up the towpath, along School Lane, through Mine Pit Wood, across the bridge, over the stream, round a big field, through a hole in the hedge, across a little field, under a gate, and into the yard of Willow Farm. There's Sarah watching, and there's Clyde off to the farm. All the while Sarah followed, trying hard not to be seen. She was getting very cross. And when she saw him saunter right into the dairy, she finally lost her temper. She marched across the yard, calling out in a loud voice, "You've got my cat!" Oh. David came out of the dairy. "No, there's only our own cat here," he replied, amazed. "A white cat with a splodge of black over one eye," continued Sarah. "Yes, that's my Freckle," said David. "No, it's my Clyde," insisted Sarah. There's David and Sarah. "Come in and see," said David's mum, trying to smooth things over. She looked puzzled. "He was a stray, it's true, but he's been here for ages." Freckle, or Clyde, was lapping his milk. He gazed from Sarah to David and from David to Sarah, and then very slowly he began to wash his face. Can you hear those church bells? And I think I was a man sneezing. It's just like I'm in the garden. In the end, they agreed to share him, to let him come and go as he pleased, which of course he fully intended to do anyway. For as everyone knows, cats lead their own lives. Sometimes even double lives. So Freckle was Clyde, and Clyde was Freckle. Freckle and Clyde. The end. I love that story. I hope you enjoyed that one. See you later. Bye. Oh.